Hi, everyone. Today we're with John Flauding from Revitalized Health. John, good day. Hope things are going well. I wanted to introduce everyone to you as a testosteronologist and your clinic. I think one of the main topics that has been really hot on the press has been this whole thing about testosterone therapy. And I was hoping you could kind of dive in, give us your experience. You've been in this world for quite some time. Sounds like you help thousands of men. We'll get into more about your clinic, where it's at, how you help people globally, and get down to the bottom of this subject. So, John, could you explain a little bit in what testosterone is and how it helps men in their role for health and feeling good?
Yeah, sure. Just start by, thanks for having me. This is, exciting. But sure. Yeah, my name is John. I'm a nurse practitioner here in Littleton, Colorado, which is just a little bit south of Denver, for those who don't know. I've been doing this for about 7 years, opened the clinic up about 6-7 years ago, and been going strong ever since. But so, testosterone in general, I mean, it's a hormone, right? But the problem is, it's an important hormone, and men, women, we all make it. Our bodies need it, and then it declines for many, many different reasons, from illnesses, disease processes to aging. So, it again, a critical hormone. And, I think the craze has been, we've definitely seen this influx of TRT clinics and we call them big box clinics, but these places pop up because of the amount of people inquiring about it. In the past years, it's been more so hush hush, right? It's been taboo. Yeah. There's steroids. These are things that, you shouldn't be on. And, I think the average person would think that, bodybuilders and, athletes, and these, that's what they are using. That's the type of person that would use this. But in reality, that's far from the truth. And it's the everyday average person that benefits from TRT, from your construction worker to your accountant, to your grandfather. The average everyday person benefits from this. Now, so again, testosterone, it's a natural hormone. Our body produces it. It for multiple reasons, like I stated, it declines as we age. So that's where TRT comes into play. Essentially TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So, what we are doing is we're essentially replacing your body with the optimal amount of testosterone, and optimal for you, not just in general, but what an optimal amount of testosterone, to where you get that vitality back, right? You feel younger again. You have that energy, that brain clarity, that sex drive, changes in body composition, motivation. It's always easy for, you go into your primary care, visit, and they say, well, you need to, you're not healthy, you're pre-diabetic, your blood pressure's up, you need to lose, 20 pounds, and they send them on their way. And that's what their instructions were. But when you're not motivated and you have no energy, it's hard to go out and exercise, so, for most guys, testosterone is the root cause of their issues. So getting to the root cause and doing something about it with TRT can have major benefits in many things in life.
Yeah, and so thank you for touching on some of the symptoms that people go through. You've touched on some of the benefits and even some of the candidates. Now, is there any kind of types of people that might be not a candidate? People with certain medical backgrounds, maybe they've had cancer, maybe they got prostate issues. What kind of people should avoid TRT supplementation?
Sure. Yeah, and obviously, you've got a guy with active prostate cancer. It's not advised for that individual to, start testosterone, look into testosterone. I mean, just hold off. I mean, get your current situation taken care of, and then after after that situation is resolved or it's stable, then sure, TRT can benefit them, greatly. I would say in general, someone who, has severe cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled hypertension. And again, it's not that they're not candidates. It's that, you don't want and until you have someone who is stabilized to where their cardiovascular function is reversing or is in good standing, their blood pressure is controlled, because testosterone can in some individuals elevate blood pressure a little bit. So if you've got if you've got severe hypertension, high blood pressure, it's not worth starting on someone where that can even make it worse, because they're not even on blood pressure medications and it's not under control. So again, not saying they can't be a candidate, but just maybe initially there's other pressing matters, health wise, that should be addressed first. And and I mean, age always comes up, in consultations with me of, how old, is too old. And I think that's a difficult question just to answer in general, meaning it really is individualized. I mean, I have patients who are in their 80s that are still extremely active. And they benefit from it. They're still sexually active. They're still active, whether, walking or mountain biking or whatever they're doing. So they see, a benefit from the testosterone. Now, if you have an extremely sedentary individual who is, wheelchair bound and quality of life is very poor, and, a ton of medical problems, then again, you have to weigh the benefits of how much is this going to help and potentially change quality of life for this individual. So, again, all of that said, I would say the majority of people are candidates, and it's just a matter of finding the right dose, finding, and a lot of guys doing that harm reduction, because, well, let's face it, let's be honest, there are many of us stubborn men out there that don't go to primary care, and they want to feel better. They want they want their libido up, and they want that muscle definition back, and they want to go back in the gym, but they won't do a simple yearly visit with their doctor to make sure that their cholesterol's good, in good standing, and their blood pressure's in range, and so those are important aspects of TRT, even though it's not directly related to the testosterone. It's all about overall health, and so we take a look at all of that.
Yeah, I was at dinner on Friday night with a couple, my wife and I, and the gentleman was really curious about testosterone. He was like, "Oh, I've been thinking about it. My buddy's on that." Well, he starts going and he's like, "Does it cause cancer?"
we get that.
What do you say to that, John?
Well, I kind of giggle like that because we get that a lot, and I kind of respond back with, I mean, if that was the case, you would have had cancer already, right? Because your body's naturally producing this. Though synthetic forms are what we're using, it's still a bioidentical, form of testosterone. So your body recognizes it as a hormone that it produced. So no, it's not going to cause cancer. We don't see it cause prostate cancer. Like I said, I mean, if you have active prostate cancer, well, sure, you want to get all that checked out, because it could potentially, we've seen it increase PSA levels. So that's going to throw off results when your urologist is checking it. But it's not going to cause any growth within the prostate or cancer anywhere else, or otherwise. I mean, testosterone has been utilized for, gosh, how many years? You would have seen significant increases in overall, morbidity, mortality, cancer rates, just from the amount of people using testosterone. So again, to answer that, no, it doesn't cause cancer.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's a long-term benefit more than anything else, right? You're
absolutely.
People are going to be stronger. They're going to have more bone density. They're going to have better functionality. They'll have a lot of markers that are going to be able to extend their life, their healthy life, not just bedridden.
Well, and you said it right there. Absolutely. I mean, you said it right there. And that, so what we do know and what we do see from, guys starting on testosterone is that, quality of life improves. And with that, it's just, so quality of life is just a blanket statement. But, if you increase someone's testosterone level, they now have the motivation that they once were lacking to go out and join the gym or walk around the block with their wife or go walk the dogs. And, that motivation is back, and they're getting exercise. So, potentially cholesterol levels are lowering, and the good cholesterol is increasing, and the blood pressure is going down, and, that circulation is flowing. And so, testosterone, yes, it does. You feel good. Your energy's good. Your mood is good while you're on it. But that's all the things that you can put your finger on and that you feel. It's all of the other stuff, the underlying things that you don't see that's going on, that actually is improving your overall, life expectancy. We see, these guys were seeing like decrease of incidences of like metabolic syndrome, right? Their waist circumference is going down. Their A1C, their blood sugar levels are going down, and we tend to see this a lot too of where. In a lot of guys, diet improves, and that was something when I first started this years ago that it would just never came to mind, and it wasn't something that I even thought of. But if you think about it, I mean, you've got guys that now are becoming more active. They're working out. Their friends are working out, and they're seeing results. They're losing weight. They're seeing that muscle definition. Just naturally, they're going to want to start to change their diet, because again, they feel better, and it's no longer throwing all of these processed, fast foods and junk foods, into their system, because they actually are starting to care about how they feel. And it's just this downfall that happens. But so everything from diet and, to, like I said, energy, everything improves, which is great.
Yeah, that's the important part, right? There's tons of synergy when it comes to someone addressing their testosterone levels, and they hear about a friend who's like, wow, I can play a full 18 rounds now, and I'm able to, feel better the next day, and I'm not totally wiped out. And so then this testosteronology or testosterone TRT hormone replacement begins opening up doors. And you hit on a couple things about affecting their A1C, affecting other metabolic conditions. And that kind of dives into what we're trying to do at Testosteronology, is that we're trying to provide tools that help facilitate their total health. It's sort of like testosterone is a door opener, and then like, guys, you got to like be able to take care of your ABCDs, your A1C, your blood pressures, your cholesterol, and your cholesterol, things like, you're just trying to help all these different areas. And so, I kind of wanted to touch base on what other things do you guys do at Revitalized Health besides testosterone? It sounds like you might be helping people with their A1Cs, blood pressures, cholesterols. There's even, I think I've heard of you talking about fertility in men at times. Yeah. And it's not just testosterone. It's being able to help the total guy and gal.
Sure. Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And that, I mean, what you just hit on right there is extremely important. And I think, I think that's what helps set us apart from a lot of other clinics out there. Sure, we've got great Google reviews. I mean, those can be manufactured, right? But it's about just what we are actually doing for our people, and knowing that, there's a lot of other hormone clinics, testosterone clinics, just in the Colorado area alone. But eventually we see a lot of those patients anyways, because, their providers aren't available, or, the quality of care that they're getting is subpar. And I mean, sure, if you've got a license and you're a medical professional and you can prescribe testosterone, I mean, you can take a quick course and fumble your way around TRT. It's not necessarily rocket science, but there are specific ways on how it should be done. And like you said, the ABCDs absolutely is what sets us apart. And, because again, like I hit on it before, is that a lot of these guys don't either have a primary care or go to their primary care, or if they do, these things still aren't being checked on a regular basis. And so, the nice thing about having a TRT patient is that we see them on a more frequent basis. We have more frequent access to them, to where, if you're once a year, if you're one that doesn't get sick illnesses, you don't have sinus infection or the flu or anything, and you're only going to your primary care once a year for a yearly, quick checkup and get some blood work, it's not incredibly in depth. So for us to see these guys on a more frequent basis, we have more access to them to trend their blood pressures, to follow their blood pressures and see, were those couple elevations just, kind of an intermittent thing, or are we seeing it trend up and we need to potentially, intervene with it. So hitting on making sure your blood sugars are in order, and that could be obviously dietary changes. There's some wonderful medications out there as well to help with that. But then their blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, your iron studies, right? So, and that's a tough one too, because a lot of these other clinics are just having their patients, dump blood, every 2 to 3 months, and though some patients may require that, I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, everyone who does that that's not, you should not do that. But again, it's case by case basis. And when your protocols are just to dump blood every 3 months, do a therapeutic phlebotomy, are these clinics checking those iron studies to make sure that their iron levels are not depleted and their ferritin levels are not depleted, to where, now you've got these guys that are going in and complaining that they're fatigued, and that clinic just says, oh, we just need to increase your dose. And so they increase the testosterone dose to battle the fatigue. And now they're worsening, the blood counts are going up even more. And now they're donating more blood even more frequently, worsening the fatigue. It's just a vicious cycle that if they would have just done some investigation, with some in-depth labs, they could have figured out, the root cause of it, instead of, dumping more testosterone into that individual, which, again, some guys have higher doses and it's needed, but the average individual, really doesn't not need to be on a high dose of testosterone. So,
Right.
yeah, ABCDs is very important, and and given and also looking into family history, personal history, family history, medical history, age. Does this person require or need a like have like a calcium score? I mean, they're inexpensive. The results tell us a lot, and give us a good potential outcome of this overall health. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that should go into TRT, not just prescribing testosterone and doing your injection. So I think that's what helps set us apart, is we do care about that and look into the ABCDs.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I think I was kind of on the boat of just dumping blood and getting my shot once a week or every 2 weeks, and learning that, oh, you mean I could take less and I could take more frequent injections, and it has this effect and change on how my body responds. And oh yeah, you're one of those guys that when you take testosterone, you get really high hemoglobin, and you have to manage it and modify and do different things and eat different. And there's all these little personalized fingerprint things that I can do to really handle my own situation. So
Absolutely.
It's cool. I think that's the beauty. That I'm so glad you're part of Testosteronology, our group that's on testosteronology.com. John, why did you connect with Anabolic Doc / Testosteronology? I kind of heard about it a while back ago, but I was kind of curious what made you interested in connecting with Dr. Thomas O'Connor and coming to this point and being a part of the Testosteronology group.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Like I said, I've been doing this. I started this clinic up with my brothers. We're approaching, I believe, 7 years now, and so most of this, the knowledge, the protocols. I mean, it's just things that we have tried and true. We've come up with and figured things out. A lot of research, a lot of late night research. Rabbit holes and because there's just not we just don't go over this in school. It's a subject that's just brushed over quickly and we don't talk about. And so this is all, if you're a practitioner in this realm, it's things like this. It's the Testosteronology group. It's your own research and time. But that being said, so I had one of the books that Dr. O'Connor, co-authors. I had that book, and I would use it from time to time for references. If a patient came in and I'm managing his testosterone, but he was on something else, and I just wasn't familiar with it, I would reference it to to understand what he was talking about, to how I could also potentially do harm reduction with this individual, because again, it was new to me. And so being that I had this available to me, this information available to me in this book, it was great. And then that led to, I randomly one time I came across, I wasn't following his Instagram, and it came across a video, and I'm like, I know that name. I didn't put a face to the name. I was like, but I know that name. And so I started following and I started watching videos, and it was more so just like his mindset and his passion, and where he wants TRT to go. It just completely aligns with me in my clinic. And then
Cool.
Literally, I was watching one of his videos, one of the more recent videos, and a lot of them I had never watched all the way through. I got the information I wanted, and then, so busy, I just went on to other things. And for some reason, I just watched this whole video all the way through. And at the end, it was like, if you're interested in becoming a testosteronologist, reach out. And so there wasn't even, I just looked up and contact us, and I reached out, and then I got an email from you, and then we touched base, and we did a video call, which was crazy, because now this guy that I've been reading this book, I'm literally talking to him on a Zoom call, which was frightening and crazy, but yeah, I mean, he's just completely down to earth, and like I said, his mindset, his mission, the way he approaches hormone replacement, TRT, it was like looking in the mirror, and Great. I knew that there was going to be a good, healthy relationship there. So I wanted to pursue it to see, what, where it went, and here we are, and it's been great. It's been, helpful, and I like that I've been able to help on some of these with some of the other testosteronologists as well, just because of my experience. Yeah. So, it's been a very positive experience so far, and the testosteronology patients have been amazing. Like I was telling you earlier, they pretty much already know what they want, just because they've been following, Doc forever. So
that's great. Well, I'm excited that the Revitalized Health group is part of the team, and I hope that people can find you easily, and I think they can. They can go to testosteronology.com, click on Find a Provider. They'll see you and all of your other 6 healthcare professionals that are at your facility. John, what's your website, and how can they find you guys directly if they want to reach out?
Yeah, so it's just the website is revitalized-health.com. We're on Instagram, and that's just at Revitalized Health LLC. Okay. And so you can look up the social media there. To be honest with you, I don't even know what our Facebook one was, but we're more active on Instagram anyways. Yeah. And just don't look. I'm very good at what I do with hormones. So any of the Instagram videos, just don't hold it against me. That's all I got to say.
Oh, you mean the Denver Bronco cheerleader?
Oh man, yeah.
You have, I think you have retired Bronco guys that you're helping as well. So it's kind of fun watching your Instagram page. I'm a follower, and but yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You guys have an awesome company. It's great to see the interaction, and I can't wait to get up there and hang out with you guys and grab some lunch.
No, like I said, you're always welcome. The door's open. Stop in. Would love to go to lunch. But I appreciate being a part of testosteronology. Being a testosteronologist. I appreciate this time, and it's been fun. So thank you,
John. Thank you so much.
All right, Bill. Take care. All right.